Hey everybody, and welcome to Art Club. Cannot wait to do some cool projects with you all. And don't forget, as you are creating your projects each day and finishing any projects, to add them to our Art Hall of Fame slides by simply going to that link, picking out a slide and a frame that you'd like. And all you need to do is fill in your first name, last initial down at the bottom. Come on up to Insert Image and choose your camera on that Chromebook, or if it's already in your Drive or Google Photos, you could do it that way, and add the picture on in. This is a fun way for us to be able to share everything with each other and get to see what our friends are creating as well. Alright, so we are going to be creating these adorable little airplanes for our toy figurines to fly around our homes in. So let's get started. I'll show you guys step by step on how to create those. So let's transition over. You guys can see my workspace right here. So you can see the one that I've got in progress, but we're going to rewind and start from the beginning here. Our first step is we do want to create a little spot for our figurine to be able to sit in, our airplane, like that, so they can fly around. So fun, right? So I am going to take either a toilet paper roll, or if you've got a paper towel roll, it is as simple as cutting it down into about a third, so it's about the same size as a toilet paper roll would be. So something like that. Okay, so now that I've got that, my next step is we need to cut a hole in there for the figurine to be able to sit in and fly around that spaceship or airplane. So I am going to, about 2/3 of the way back, I am going to be cutting out a hole around this size. Now if you have a figurine in mind that you know you want to go flying with, make sure you kind of test and will that figurine fit in that space. Alright, so now that I've got that drawn on there, I am going to start cutting this hole by pinching my cardboard just a bit. You're going to notice it has to be bent a bit, and I'm basically taking my scissors and just popping a hole right in the center there where I know it's going to get cut out anyway and it doesn't really matter too much. Now I'm taking my scissors and as carefully as I can, I'm going to go around that hole and just cut that out as nicely as I can. Create a nice little seat for my figurine to be able to sit in. Alright, and there we go. And if you need to clean up any of those edges, you can always go back in and give it a little haircut, trim it a little bit. That works. Alright, so we've got the seating part of our airplane ready to go, but now we got to get the wings and the base of it. So, the best way I could think of describing the shape was sort of like a top. You know those things that you spin and they on the table, right? So sort of like a top, but with a rounded bottom was the best way I could think of describing this. So let's draw this out together so you guys can create yours at home as well. So I grabbed some flat cardboard here. I cut a box open, and my first step was to line up the seating area in the middle of that piece of cardboard, but towards the back. And actually this is a little bit uneven here, so I'm just going to give it a fresh edge and cut that nice and straight. There we go. That's better. Alright, so now that I've got a nice straight edge there, I'm going to line that up with the back edge. So I want to make sure that the front is sticking out just a little bit on this. So I'm going to hold that there and just sort of mark out. It needs to go to about there, and my edge might come to here and around to here. So that way I'm just making sure that we're able to see the front side of the base around the top of, or the front of the toilet paper tube. So now that I've got that kind of marked out, I can go ahead and create the rest. So it's going to be sort of like a bowl shape here, And then I'm going to bring it up and in even a little bit and back around for the wings. And it can, feel free to customize your plane or your spaceship too if you want it to be a little bit different shape. You totally can. So I'll come in back and around. So it's going to look something like that. And I'll hold this up for a second, or if you need to, feel free to also pause the video to get an idea of what that shape looks like. So once we've got our shape ready to go and we like how that looks, our next step is going to be to cut that shape out. Just taking my scissors. Cutting cardboard can be a little tricky, so definitely feel free to take your time with this portion of it. If you need a little assistance, don't feel bad about that, because even for me, cutting cardboard is tricky. It's a little tough on your fingers too. Alright, so now that we've got that, the next step is where all of the real fun and creativity comes into play. So from here, you now get to decide. Do you want to put some glue or tape down and cover it with tin foil and have it be more like a spaceship, a rocket ship? Do you want to paint it? That's what I did with mine. I painted it a sort of lavender soft color. And then once this paint is dry, I am going to be adding different shapes. Maybe I put like some stripes on the front of it, like that. I could even paint those things on. Maybe I do some stripes with some dots in between. It's totally up to you how you want to decorate that. Maybe you don't want to use paint or tin foil. Maybe you want to use markers. You could use markers. So really from here, get creative and decorate your spaceship, your airplane, whatever you're creating at your home, and make it look the way you want it to. Our last step then, once it's all dried and decorated and ready to go, is going to be to put a nice amount of glue down the bottom of the base of our toilet paper roll. And we're going to set it down on here. You might even, if you've got like something heavy that fits inside of here, like maybe some rocks, or you could even just hold it like this. But hold that or let it dry for a decent amount of time, depending on how much glue and what type of glue you used. I would say give it at least a half hour, maybe even longer, just because we are going to be playing with these and we want to make sure that that glue holds really nice and strong so that our figurine can go flying all over our home and its new spacecraft. All right, you guys, have so much fun. We'll see you next time.